What is going on, YouTube people? Today, whenever you're watching this, we're going to discuss Prismatic Evolutions ETBs real quick. I actually wasn't planning on making a video for today, but I was scrolling the Pokemon Reddit space as you are wont to do sometimes, and this post just gave me a little bit of a chuckle. Prismatic ETB scalpers continue to drop prices. Hold your ground and do not buy from them. And then they show the chart with the declining prices and how it's, flirting with around $100 a box. Listen, the scalping thing, it is what it is. When things are popular like this, it is a nature of the beast, and it is going to happen. But the scalpers are dropping their prices, it's not really quite how that works. What's actually going on here is the market just finding itself. And tons of inventory continues to hit the market right now. We are still in I'm trying to figure out what this thing is priced at in the short term. Supply and demand are not balanced out at the moment. Everyone had it on pre-order. Everyone's getting those boxes in. Some shipments were delayed. Retail stores got their first big wave last week, and now, or like 14 days ago, like on release day. Fast forward to this week, some of the retailers got restocked again, and I've seen stuff out there. I haven't seen this personally at any of my stores, but I haven't been I didn't really get a chance to really go look this week for much. But what I've seen and what I've heard on the social is a lot of the stores got a lot this week. I saw some video of Targets with full end cap displays with 20, 30 ETBs on it, plus poster collections, plus sticker collections, and all this other stuff. Retail's going to keep getting these waves. The way that this works with Excel and MJ Holdings is they don't just dump everything out in week one on the shelf and let you vultures grab it all. They usually spread out the releases for, I don't know, about a month or so. It just depends. It really just depends. I think GameStop is supposed to get another shipment I saw potentially this week in stores, was another rumor floating around the internet. But retail is going to continue to get stock week after week. Eventually it will dry up. And usually you could tell that when the stocks start getting a little bit smaller. Usually they'll be the first wave. The second and third wave are usually pretty large, and then it'll slowly trickle down from there until eventually it's just, we don't have any more of that. Or there'll be one ETB or one poster collection or whatever. Now, in the case of Prismatic, what's going to happen is that current line of product, ETBs, for example, will dry up, and they'll be replaced by the surprise boxes or the booster bundles and the other ancillary products that are coming out as they kind of stage this release. So you'll probably see one item fade out and get replaced by the next item, and rinse and repeat as they have these staggered release dates for these. But this isn't people dropping prices to undercut. It's simply everyone's trying to figure out where the bottom of this thing is, where market equilibrium is on this. And supply is continuing to hit the market at a rapid pace. There are, 1,500 listings for ETBs on TCG Player, and that's not even factoring in eBay. These things are all over Facebook Marketplace. They're all over card shows. They're all over the place. The fact that it's holding at 100 with this much supply hitting the market right now is actually pretty strong, in my opinion. And what's going to happen once we burn through this supply of ETBs? We'll use the ETBs specifically here instead of getting lost in the sauce on the ancillary products. On the specialty sets, to me, it's about two products: the ETBs and the booster bundles. Those are the only two that I usually go after. Prismatic, I'm going after a few extra little things here and there because I do think it's going to be a very popular set forever. So I'm willing to dabble a little bit in some other stuff. But generally speaking, I like to look at ETBs and booster bundles. Booster bundles aren't out yet, so ETBs are the belle of the ball. These things have got to flush their way through the system. And then what's going to happen is this supply is eventually going to start drying up. people are still buying, what's been selling every day here. 370, 320. Today's data is not up there yet. What do we got the day before? 400, 300. These things are spinning out at about 300 a day on TCG Player. As of right now, there's enough coming in on the opposite side to feed the beast, if you will. It's coming in one side, it's hitting the conveyor belt, and it's coming out the other side, and someone's there to gobble it up at around the $100 price point. It hasn't crept above that yet. Obviously, like right on release it did, and prior to release, because the supply was so limited. Now the floodgates are open for the time being, and even with the floodgates being open, it's still sitting at close to 100. I don't think this drops below 100, or if it does, just barely. And then eventually this supply is going to flush its way out of the system, and then this thing is going to start to basically reverse this graph. It'll start doing this in the up direction. You just flip it around, and it'll start creeping up that way a little bit. That's most likely what's going to happen. It's probably going to take them a while before reprint hits. A perfect example of this is, what is it? Sparks came out in, was it November, December? Right around Thanksgiving? I don't remember Surging Sparks release date off the top of my head. We're getting a reprint of that next month. That was like 3 months in between release and when we're actually seeing the reprint. We're still not 100% sure when the reprint's actually going to hit. But you basically had all of December, all of January, and at least a part of February and a part of November. So at minimum, you're talking 3 months. So if it's the same cadence for Prismatic, 3 months from now to the next wave of whatever it is that they're reprinting, assuming ETBs, if it follows the same timeline, that's April. That's a long way away. Now, like I said, the one thing that's going to be a little bit of a saving grace is there's going to be those other ancillary products continuing to hit the market to kind of at least feed the rip and shippers packs. But if you're just talking ETB specifically, it might be a while before we see another batch of those. To me personally, this is a bad take. The hold your ground and do not buy from them, I don't think that's going to have the impact that you think it's going to. One, for every person that's like, nah, bro, I don't want that, there's 4 people behind him lined up saying, I'll give you $100 right now. Please let me give you $100 for this. And they'll just push you out of the way. And what's going to happen? That supply is going to dwindle as the restocks slow down, and then the graph's going to start going the other way. And then eventually they'll dump some big reprint on the market, prices will dip down, and it'll go right back up again after some time. Maybe they absolutely print this thing to the moon, back again, to Saturn and back again, and it goes all the way down to MSRP. I just don't know if I see this set hitting MSRP. I could be wrong. I would love to, because I would buy the crap out of it. But I don't know if I see it getting down to 60. I really don't. Not with what the singles are selling for. Now, if the singles market collapses, different story. But right now that isn't the case. And I'm not reading too much into what singles are doing right now. It's way too early. It takes a couple weeks for that market to find itself too. Because singles are the reverse. Singles, there's no supply to start. It's all sealed supply. The sealed supply dries up, and that increases the single supply. And more of those hit the market, and then it has to find its price where it's going to sit at. I expect most of the big chases from the set to stay pretty high. I think they'll come down a little bit in the short term to medium term, and then eventually they'll creep back up again. But that stuff's not going to zero. And as long as that stuff is hot and popular and selling for tons of money, guess what? So are the packs. That's just how it works. It's that simple. So, personally, I think this is a pretty bad take. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.